I now call to order the final plenary of the 28th General Synod. And now we get to begin with that wonderful custom of speak-outs. I don't see our timer yet for speak-outs. We'll let our tech folks catch up.
Good afternoon. I am the Reverend Dr. Davita Floyd Crabtree of Connecticut, a visitor. It was 3 years ago this month that I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And when I was diagnosed, there came from around this amazing church the most amazing outpouring of prayers and messages that surrounded me and lifted me up and healed me. And I give thanks to God for that and for you. I give thanks to God for the Collegium of the Conference of Conference Ministers, the Collegium of Officers of the United Church of Christ, for Joffrey Black, for the Reverend Dr. John Thomas, our former General Minister and President, and for so many who have been so deeply pastoral to me. I want to say also that it was 2 years ago this month last month that my husband was diagnosed with stomach cancer right after my diagnosis concluded and my treatment. And the General Synod held David and me in prayer, and I was able to see that through live streaming. And so I am at this microphone to say to you that no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, especially if you are a conference minister or a retired conference minister of this church, you are surrounded by prayer. Thank you, United Church of Christ.
Sia Barbara Ferguson, Kimura, Central Atlantic Conference. Public education is under attack in the United States, and our teachers and public educators are in the crosshairs of politicians and pundits. Along with teachers, students, our children are under assault without sufficient, fair, or equitable solutions. Today, we are presenting a public education manifesto that calls on all of us to do what we can, wherever we can. Whoops. We do this in the tradition of our legacy as the United Church of Christ, as demonstrated by our predecessors, who can make education a priority and founded academies, schools, and universities across this country, from Massachusetts to California.
Jean Copeland, Southern Conference. We call on clergy, laity, to partner with public school administrators in their respective localities, along with civic, fraternal, socially responsible organizations to generate a culture of high academic expectation and engaged citizenship. We call on clergy and laity to work closely and courageously with educators, both active and retired, to create strategies, programs, and activities that will establish a climate of high academic expectation and active community engagement. We also call on clergy and laity to use their facilities, campuses, grounds to stage and coordinate events and opportunities that will assure the maintenance of a culture and climate in which high academic expectations will thrive and active community engagement will become the broadly accepted norm of the day. Thank you.
Elizabeth Sheeman, Southern Conference. I'm with Lisa,
Southern Conference.
and we're here to speak about getting adults to help our children become engaged learners. We realize our children are required to compete with scholars and citizens from around the world. In order for them to be properly prepared to meet societal needs, They need to be educated in the critical areas of science, math, health technologies, language arts, world histories, world culture, and theology. Our children's academic foundation must be based on relevant, emerging intellectual and industrial areas of study. We call on the church, clergy, and laity to create spiritually directed, humanity-oriented, justice-inspired, and personally designed platforms on which this education is structured.
And just as we have called on others in the past to increase public involvement, we call on ourselves and including parents to take an important role in improving the quality of our children's academics. We call on our congregations and immediate communities in which we're located to become engaged.
Brenda James, Southern Conference. We call on all parents and adults to become continuing education scholars in pursuit of advancing their own knowledge and increasing their own confidence in public education. We call on clergy and laity to provide facilities in a safe, nurturing environment where adults and parents can express their values for their children's scholastic and community-wide success. We call on local church leaders to champion the cause of equality and public education and active community engagement, and to defend this initiative as consistent with the gospel of Jesus Christ, including caring and protecting our children from all harm, physical, emotional, psychological, spiritual, and intellectual. Thank you.
I am Ann Emery from Central Atlantic Conference. We celebrate the important, successful, and lasting labor of those who have come before us in the United Church of Christ, who built institutions of higher education from Harvard to Beloit to Defiance to the universities of Michigan, Illinois, Washington, and California, as well as 500 academies throughout the American South to educate newly freed African Americans following the Civil War. Along with the American Missionary Association, founding of 6 historically black colleges who continue to exist today. Support, teachers, and for the promotion of education is our legacy. We must continue the legacy now. Support those AMA colleges.
My name is Yvonne Delk, and I am from the Southern Conference and a proud student from the public schools. I thank God for those teachers who touched my life. And now we want to recognize those persons who are here with us today, who are teachers, educators, staff, faculty members employed by a school or education institution. If you are here, please stand and allow us to say thank you for your commitment to education, teaching our children, and enabling us to move forward. Yay! Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I am Alan Johnson from the Rocky Mountain Conference. Last month, for our Mental Health Sunday at First Congregational Church, United Church of Christ in Boulder, we put a colored dot on 1 out of 4 bulletins. When we got to the mental health litany, anyone who had the dot on their bulletin was invited to stand if possible or hold up their hand. We were asked to look around to see the number of people who are standing or holding up their hand. This is a truth for our church. 1 out of 4 people are affected by a mental illness, brain disorder, or disability. This was a visible expression of what is usually invisible. Many people living with a mental illness, brain disorder, disability have found it very difficult to be included into the life of the church, and their loved ones have become silent. That silence can be broken, and our extravagant welcome can be embodied. The second National Conference, Widening the Welcome, Inclusion for All, is this September. WideningTheWelcome.com, you've heard that. This is the it's a movement, United Church of Christ.
Hi, my name is Jesse Knox from the Illinois Conference, Senior Pastor, Church of the Good Shepherd. Where is Illinois in the house? I invite you all to imagine what is possible as our conference seeks a dynamic leader a prophetic visionary who is culturally sensitive to serve as our Associate Conference Minister for the Chicago Metropolitan Association. Deadline for application is July 19th. I repeat, July 19th. This information is posted on our UCC employment opportunities, or you can contact our search committee chair at this email address, juanita2340@sbcglobal.net. One more time, juanita2340@sbsglobal.net.
Last speaker.
Hello, my name is Enno Limvier. I serve in the South Dakota Conference. If you are a pastor, if you know a pastor, if you go to a church that has a pastor, please let them take Sabbath. Please make them take Sabbath, otherwise you end up like this. Hello, my name is Enno. I'm a pastor in a small rural church. One day, my church came up to me and said, "Pastor, are you busy?" I said, "No, I'm not busy. Preach the gospel with your right hand. Visit people with your left hand." Hello, my name is Enno, and I work in a small rural church. One day, my church came up to me and said, "Enno, are you busy?" I said, "No, I'm not busy." They said, "Keep the kids in line with your right foot. Go to meetings with your left foot." Hello, my name is Enno. I'm a pastor in a small local church. One day, my church came up to me and said, "Enno, are you busy?" I said, "No, I'm not busy. Go to conference with your head. Don't forget to pray with your tongue." Hello. Please honor your Sabbath, folks. Take care of yourselves.
Hi, sir.
Pamela Cansay Cheney of Justice and Witness Ministers, Ohio Conference, representing pastors leading UCC local congregations, which, like mine, comprise a different cultural or ethnic heritage than my own. Working with Charlene J. Smith of Local Church Ministries, we are trying to form a national and international network of clergy who serve members who don't look like each other, but we pastor just the same. Personally speaking, I've never, ever been called to pastor a black church in the UCC, but I continue to push the envelope of understanding between race, culture, class, gender, age, and medical competence. Join our group. Contact Smith at ucc.org. Please, if any of what I have said resonates with you, push. We gotta keep pushing. We gotta put pastors in our local churches who don't look like the people in the pews. We gotta keep pushing on because we can do this in the United Church of Christ. Amen. Hallelujah.
Hello, my name is Tiana Boyd. I'm a current student at the Chicago Theological Seminary.
Hi, my name is Pamela Cook. I'm class of 2014 at United Theological Seminary.
And my name is Josh Piven, and I'm an incoming student to Eden Theological Seminary.
My name is Kylie Todd Roska, and I serve as the director of Q Seminaries, Chicago United and Eden. And we just wanted to take this opportunity to thank the 16 conferences in the greater Midwest region who support theological education through Q, Chicago United and Eden.
So the next time you give a contribution, these are the faces to whom you're giving. Don't think it's just an envelope. You are the crucial linchpin in guaranteeing ministers for our future. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mike Reeb. I'm a delegate from the Indiana-Kentucky Conference. I'm also the Director of Christian Education and Youth at Emmanuel UCC in Lafayette, Indiana. We're the only UCC church within about 50 miles. And next summer, July 2012, is National Youth Event in West Lafayette at Purdue. I'm not on the National Youth Event board. There's a woman from our church who is, but I want to let you know that our church is in West Lafayette. If you have kids that want to go to the National Youth Event and you can't afford boarding or hotels or travel travel costs, well, maybe not the travel cost thing, but definitely the lodging. We have dozens of families that we'd love to host your kids in their homes. We also have a church that has showers and rooms for you and your youth to sleep in. So we're so close to this National Youth Event. We want to be a resource for you. So I'm in this purple shirt. I'll be here all day. Come and find me. My name is Mike. Just let us know how Emmanuel and I can help make your church and your youth feel welcome at the National Youth Event next summer. Thanks.
Reverend Bob Atkinson, Missouri Mid-South Conference. From 1965 to 1969, I served in the United States Marine Corps. Most of that time was in the Pacific area and a short time in Vietnam. I was a communicator, a teletype operator, and I sent Naval Security Group top secret communiques to various places from communication centers. We had 4 levels of information that went out. One that went to the American public, one that went to Congress, one that went to the American president, and one that went to the Joint Chiefs and other security agencies. They were all different, and they all had differing levels of reality to them. In 1967, the war went on for 8 more years, and 30,000 people died. There's a patriot that I choose to think of as a patriot who's incarcerated named Bradley Manning. I encourage you to write letters, to send emails, to do anything you can to help this young man who had the courage and the means that I did not have at that time, even though I wished I'd had. Thank you.
Thank you. That ends this Speak Out session. The next opportunity for Speak Out will be General Synod 29 in 2013. My dear colleagues are having a coronary back here. We thank you for all of your contributions. I would also like to thank Mr. Dick Sparrow for his work as our Speak Out coordinator. I now invite all of the national staff to begin making their way to the stage. During the last several days, we have had the opportunity to hear from and thank the members of the Collegium. We have seen other members of the national staff in the exhibit hall, at registration, the General Synod office, during workshops and committees and sponsored meetings and sponsored meals. But we haven't had the opportunity to say a formal thank you for all the work they do on behalf of us all. Many staff are here, but there are also many others whose work does not bring them to Synod, and they are in Cleveland, in North Carolina, and in Washington, D.C., and their work is no less important than the work of those who are here today. All of the staff play a crucial role in the work that is done throughout the national setting of the church. I invite you to join me in a formal expression of appreciation to all of them for the work they do that helps support the work of our local churches, associations, conferences, and all of us in so many ways. And I now call upon Edith Guffey to help us say thanks to our local arrangements committee and volunteers.
Many, 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 many months ago, we had our first local arrangements committee meeting. And you get an idea, don't you? The Florida Conference and over 300 volunteers have been working and working and working not only these past 5 days, but for several months to prepare for our time together. They said a year and a half, but who's counting? They have been tireless, they have been enthusiastic, they have been low drama and have taken whatever came their way cheerfully and with an incredible amount of grace. And I know that you all want to join me in appreciation and thanks to all that they have done, not only this week, but in the last months. Someone once told me that a team is only as good as their leader. I don't know if that's true, but, and we have had 3 wonderful co-chairs of this committee. And where is Kent? And a conference minister who have been absolutely fabulous. And on behalf of the General Senate, I'd like to give them gifts. Mary Nutter. And there's another one like this. Rick Carson. Kent Salati. And John Seister. They have been absolutely fabulous to work with. Only those conferences who have hosted a General Senate really get it. And I know that there are several of you out there who really know the amount of countless hours and time and emails and phone calls that go into hosting Senate, all the way from meeting people at the airport to youth stewards to cookies to ushers to, you know, it goes on and on and on. And these are key folks. We could not do it without them. So thank you.
On behalf of all the delegates, we thank you for all of the cookies.